right. How's everyone doing? So, another day to do awesome stuff on. So not many days left now for the Ask Me Anything. Looking forward to that. Also looking forward to give away some freebies for you guys. It's gonna be fun. Hopefully you will like it. Hey Ohms, Kuru. How's it going? I'm starting to feel like it needs to be redesign of the things on the stream, the graphics being used, but we'll see. We'll see. Hey TMH Lava, thanks for the host. Otski, good morning. Yo, good morning, good morning, good morning. So maybe we should get going. Do some damage here. Let's see how many. We got 12,000, 1,208 followers. That's good. Kuru, yeah, don't forget. I have to comment on that YouTube in order to be valid to get a randomly chosen print. Or one comment or 2, 3 will randomly be picked. Probably a better. AG buffer, Lurib. Okay, throw me some topics. We have topic number 1, which is a live ice castle. Duck gang leader. Hey, Alexei Kondratiev. Thanks for the follow. It's very appreciated. Man who can't breathe. That's pretty cool. Zombie Lucha Libre fighter controlled by bionic implants. Wow. Let's hope for that one. That sounded crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Diesel Punk Medic. That is cool. Let's hope it's Diesel Punk Medic. Good morning, Orbi. Orbi1 or Orbiet, if you're Swedish. And we got 1. So let's roll the dice. All right. Another topic. That is not correct. Obviously, number 4 is it's rigged. Okay, here we go. It's number 4. Let's just check so it's not rigged. Number 4. One more time. All right, it's not rigged. So it's number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ohms 1 with Zombie Lucha Libre. Bionic implant controlled Lucha Libre. Okay. I really would have loved the Diesel Punk Medic. One day. Hey, Rogue Polygon 13, Rogue 13 Polycount, rather. Thanks for the host. Okay, bionic implant controlled Lucha Libre. Is a wrestler, right? For some reason, I wanted to do a like Pixar style monster. So let's try our hands on something more funnier today. So I saw this like little weird monster guy with funny proportions, like all torso and shoulders. A little bit of Popeye arms. with the Lucha Libre hat on, kind of standing in a funny manner. And then the bionic implants, obviously, maybe make it obvious, like he has on his brain. Master 777 Oz, thanks for the host. Greatly appreciated. Kohlberger Art and Sea Glass, thank you very much for the host. Very cool, very cool. All right, so let's have like an antenna going back, and obviously he has to have a Lucha Libre design on his face, but the design I'll put on top of the form. So I'll just kind of render the mask. Xabi, good morning. Yeah, it's a little bit Banish, but let's also put those implants on his shoulders, so it'll look like, and on his elbow, so it'll look like they're radio controlled, or you know, he has involuntary movements. Maybe put one in the neck as well. So I wanted to experiment also with. I feel personally that it's time to like play around with smudge brush. I've stayed away from smudge brush for a very long time. Like I can, my smudge brush, how I set it up at the moment is it is like a blender rather than smudging. But I feel at the moment like I'd like to have more of like a rake style smudge, you know, like standard setting. I mean, obviously I just need to switch brush, but I don't know, I feel like I'd like to experiment more, like playing around with edges, because I don't know, I feel like in my personal art I'm going a lot more painterly. I mean, I've been striving for that for quite some time, and I do enjoy the more painterly way of doing things. No, it's interesting. Oh yeah, that is correct there, Bart. I forgot. My arms. Thanks. And Halo Team 1991, thanks for the follow. Very appreciated. Yeah, but there's always one interesting thing that, like, if you like, yesterday I was talking about fashion, Project Runway. Is that what it's called? Like we talked yesterday about all the whole campiness and so on, but that's arbitrary. But one thing that I always pick out from all these movies is, or TV shows about doing projects, and that's something I've always been like appreciative, that word, of when it comes to competitions and challenges in the art community, especially like if I join one, is that you have to step up your game, right? You have to challenge yourself and really push yourself towards one goal, because it's going to be seen in public. So that's important. But one thing that I always think about when I look at all these, let's say Project Run Show or Project Runway or Face Off or these like thing where they have to follow or complete a project. Like I said, the one thing I get out of it, take away from it, I mean, is the idea of they always mention like how true is it to your own vision, like your own style. And I think it's very easy to forget about that, um, like when designing, doing concept art. Like you always try to please. Um, Obviously, I have quite a few years of experience where I don't just try to please, but it's something I always feel is there present, like that it's really important to keep in mind is like how do you design things, like what do you prefer, you know, if you're gonna do let's say a Halo type character, um, like the client don't want Halo or Master Chief again, right? They want, if they hire you, they want what you would be able to do for them, right? uh, so I think a lot of times, for example, when it's some big client like that, let's say like Halo or doing Master Chief, um, or any other well-known character, right? That's already been established. Um, you might lean too strongly to their already made decisions, but I'm quite sure that, you know, with time and experience, you got to start like leaning on yourself and what you like, but still tick the boxes of, you know, like what the client wants. And it's so fun to like watch Project Runway in that sense that um, their challenge, they all do the same challenge, right? But they all big in a big picture wise deliver completely different things because they are always trying to do, you know, what they like. And I think in general that is something a lot of artists forget um, when doing digital art or concept art or illustrations is like your own preference, and by sticking to like what you yourself enjoy, like you're gonna make trends in that sense, you know. It sounds stupid, but if no one pushes the envelope, no one's gonna do new things. Hey, Undead Mango, good morning. Eric Moy, good morning. Mui. And Eric East. Hello, Eric East. Nick RDH, good morning, good morning, good morning. Nice to have you. Yeah, but that's, I think when it comes back to the topic of like forgetting about who you are and what like your design sensibilities are, it's quite tricky, especially like for me, for example, because I'm quite dynamic in the way I do things. Like I can switch techniques. Um, has always been a thing that I've been thinking about. You know, it's an interesting topic. I know it always makes me think, like, the importance of not sacrificing who you are as an artist, even though it is commercial art. Um, because let you know, technique is a big part of it, right? So we see Craig Mullins painting miles away, you know, because it's Craig Mullins. His skill set is crazy. Um, but the dangers of commercial art is that there's not a lot of identity there, right? Because the client wants their things, and on it could easily be without you, you know, with your own integrity. You know, like I'm quite sure there's a lot of clients who just kind of strong arm an art style that you have to fit into, and it doesn't matter who you are as an artist, you know, because the client just wants this, whatever this is, done, and you just have to comply to it. But it's something definitely to keep in mind, like the importance of you. I've always wanted that from the beginning. Like I've always uh, given the clients my interpretations. Some clients obviously want a very specific image, and they won't accept the submission until they get that like literal translation of their thoughts. You know, those clients are luckily not many, and a lot more clients come for you and your designs, um, ideally. So that's something that you should definitely try to remind yourself of. Uh, that it's really important that you do you. And I think like alms, for example, on the Discord challenges, you can definitely see when alms have have well, like when it's his contribution, it's very obvious that alms paints what alms like, which is great. You know, it's refreshing and it's a really good start. I think what alms, like all of us, um, have to do is keep working on the your skill set and so on. But you know that comes with mileage. Um, you know how much you know how much you can paint, more or less, rather than anything else. You know, in order to get technically good, you just have to do the 10,000 drawings. You know, that classic saying. And you hear my daughter singing and screaming in the background. She's home today. She got a cold and a gunky eye. So if they have gunky eyes, they can't go to school. Yeah, and that being said, I think also like if you look at the Discord challenges, I think Dearbard also have quite a recognizable style. You know, like me and Passenger always say that say that you know that it's um, it's very recognizable in that sense, and it's very important to not to know all the time what your style is, but be aware of let's say that style is is on a thing that will always change. Your preferences will most likely always change, and there was another thought I had the other day, is that sometimes your style doesn't change, and I think there's definitely times where that will work against you. So I think it's sometimes you gotta push a new style, right? You have to reinvent yourself to be uh, being able to be marketed. You know, make yourself an interesting asset. Yeah, but yeah, I see on a lot of more seasoned artists that a lot of them um, they just do their thing and don't change. But one thing that's obvious, that the more household known names when it comes to concept art, you know, the more famous people, they are the ones always pushing the envelope a bit. You know, they're always reinventing themselves. They're always trying new things, and I think that's the recipe of not standing still and becoming like one trick pony. And I think it's that's something that's also, like I said, something you got to keep in mind is don't stand still too long, you know, in your style and design preferences, because I think um, it gotta it got to change as well over time. A lot of things to think about when it comes to be um, something that sells. You know, you have to sell your art. You have to sell you as an artist as well to some degree. And at what time do you gotta, you know, switch things up? Hey, Stellar Phantom. Good morning. Um, Kuru, yeah, that's another thing that one should be aware of, is like, is your style sellable, or will it be sellable? Maybe that's the thing, you know, like, oh, it doesn't sell now, but I do love the way I do things, and I want to see it through. But usually, what happens is that if you like something and you keep doing it, you get really, really good at it, and that sticks, right? So that your style is just shapes and patterns and things that you prefer, rather than this kind of um, elaborate master plan of conjuring up a style, right? That's not really how it works. I mean, you could, but it will be, at the beginning, it will be forced, like having to paint something with your offhand, right? And it's going to feel completely alien at the beginning. You have to restart from scratch, but in the end, like all things, if you keep doing it, you'll get good at it. But yeah, that's it's an interesting topic, I think. Yeah, it's like I said, it's something I always get out of these TV shows where they're competing about being creative, like Project Runway and so on. Is the awareness of you really need to be careful of artistic decisions and who you are and what you sell. I mean, in this instance, it's clothes, but it's not far off from a painting, in that sense, especially if it's commercially made, so to be sold. You gotta think about what people like, what's trendy, and all these things, but still incorporate that into like who you are as an artist, which is not always this easy thing to do. It's a lot of thinking and a lot of careful uh, plotting, and you have to always think twice, I think, about, is this something I like? Can I make it better? What of these designs do I want to make better? Do they represent me enough? Even though they are client work. All these things, I think, do matter in the long run, and I think it's an easy thing to forget. Um, that's another good point there, Bart. Music, right? And the band changing sounds per album. But that being said, if let's say Radiohead releases a new album, maybe Radiohead wasn't uh, the best example because they are extremely they transformed over the years. Um, but let's say Rolling Stones, if they make a new album, even though they change the sound, maybe um, they still sound like Rolling Stones. So that's something you should also think about in that sense. That's what I was saying about topic of changing your style a bit so that it sells better. Music obviously is a fast-moving uh, thing that is very trendy. I mean, so is in art, commercial art. You have to make cool, sexy things 2 years in the future. And so with music, music takes a while to record, produce, uh, all these things, and you have to try to match it in time and in style. But I think what really has to come through in the end is, do you as the artist enjoy it, like music? Uh, you know, they're obviously making calculated risks in changing up a sound in between albums, but they also have to. They can't make two albums sounding the same. Who wants that? They want something new. They want something fresh. Uh, Kuro, it's supposed to be a bionic implant. I haven't really um, touched it that much. I've been focusing on other things, but yeah, it's supposed to be like a antenna. Should put a lamp in there. But probably what needs to be done is I need to do this and then have the antenna point up more because no one thinks about the downward facing antenna. probably makes more sense now. I just tried to fit it into the canvas, which was a bad idea. So cheers for that. What is trendy digital painted art at the moment? That is a tricky one, but I definitely say it's very much on realism. Realism is a big, even though let's say it's fantasy. It's very accurate, realistic light, very accurate, realistic textures, and a lot of people are trying to come up with new alternative shapes. There was a trend where everything was exaggerated and stylized, like World of Warcraft. That used to be the go-to style, and I think like D&D won't ever change. But let's say Shadow of War, this new Mordor, or what it was called, Shadow of Mordor, or War of Mordor, or whatever. This more realistic, gritty fantasy. That's definitely on the fantasy front was coming forward, and sci-fi is very hard sci-fi, complex sci-fi. I think is the. I think we'll see more and more when it comes to sci-fi, more elaborate mechanics, dense information and overlaid information that kind of makes it feel very complex and realistic. That's what I think. G-buffer. What's the most important to know when you're doing characters is to make them relatable. You know, if you see a character, do you care about them? And why should you care about them when you see them? If it's an enemy or an opponent to the main hero, you need to think about, you know, what's the story? Do they match, or do they go against each other? How? I mean, obviously, then secondary. That's secondary. Primary is shape and color and value design. You know, how well is the product, aka character, design? You know, because a character for a comic or a game or a movie, it's a product. It has to be designed as a product with the best shapes that most people like. You know, it has to sell. And then secondary comes, you know, inter-character relationships. You know, like how do they sit together as a whole? You know, if a character lineup, if someone stands out too much, maybe that character doesn't fit the story or needs to be changed. You know, things like that. Because it's products and you have to relate to them and care about them. I don't remember how Lucha Libre masks look like, but I know they have lots of patterns in the face. A lot of swooping lines, but I don't know. It's a little bit gimp maskish. And it should be like blue or some crazy thing like that. Anyways, time's up. A bit different today. Some fun, strange lucha libre, a little bit more cartoonier. Yeah. So thanks everyone for coming. Have a fantastic day, fantastic evening, wherever you are in the world. Remember that there's a 2-week challenge on the Discord. There is Ask Me Anything now on Saturday, and there will be a print giveaway if you ask some questions on the YouTube clip that I uploaded. The link is underneath in the window. Thank you for the follows and hosts and discussions and all that. It's fantastic, really good fun. So thanks for coming, and see you tomorrow morning. Bye.